Hello everyone, I'm ImKibitz and welcome back to Timberborn, where last time we started playing an experimental and messing with the new pumps they added, which, go figure, allow you to pump water from a lower location to an upper location. And with that kind of technology, theoretically, infinite power is possible, wherein pumps could pump water from a giant reservoir up into some water wheels, and then in turn, power the pumps. And then the water could simply flow back into the original source, and infinite power forever is ours. So that was our plan last time. We built this massive pump reverse waterfall, and we started with some water wheels over here. Unfortunately, it didn't work. We tried out a couple of designs here and there, made a few little mistakes. But with the help of your comments, I'm ready to try again, and this time I think we can do it. And for the prospect of infinite power is exciting to you, remember to leave a like. And first off, I blundered. You see, we were doing tests in the last episode, and I left a gap in the water stream. So these wheels need a flow rate in order to move, but because I left this one little gap, it kind of ruined the whole experiment. So today, we're going to be rebuilding that again, except properly, where it's not broken. So very simply, just a bunch of levees going this way, so that the water is forced down a narrow channel, thus it'll have more speed. Because while we've been playing an experimental, they added a new mechanic to the game where the speed of water really matters. So a water wheel, just in any water, can provide a different amount of power. Like this one is providing 64 horsepower, this one down here is 126, and goes on and on like that. Every one of these wheels is dynamic, going along with the water. So depending on how fast the current is, that's how much power you can generate. So step one today is simply making this proof of concept work, because if we get it to work, then we can expand on it forever, and we win. We just win the video game. So once this is complete, we'll turn on all the pumps, and we'll see if the wheels spin. We just need all of these to spin. Even if each wheel only provides 50 horsepower, it doesn't matter. We can just stack the design over and over and over and over and over and over, etc. again, as much as we want, and it'll just be a matter of scale. So while this is getting worked on, let's check out a couple other new things. So there were some updates to the game, which have added in some pretty awesome stuff. Number one is, I think it's called a shrine. There it is. A small shrine where beavers can contemplate nature. So it's kind of like the temple, except it's just small. So I suppose you could have both, but they kind of work for the same buff. So again, when you click on a beaver, there's a bunch of buffs you can get. And what is the shrine one? Oh, it's completely different. So there's the temple, which can give working speed, which is really good. And then the shrine would give another 30 working speed. That is crazy. And these are so small and convenient to place. Okay, that's pretty cool. Let's make that a hyper priority, please and thank you. Or I'll probably build it somewhere else, never mind. But the way bigger part of this update is that the engines here have been buffed. So this faction we're playing, the Iron Teeth, gets to build these engines. And they turn logs into power. Now before, it would take like, geez, a ton of logs. Like it would eat through your supplies in no time. And it only produced 200 power, or horsepower, per each engine. Which is like nothing considering a water wheel, just any normal one, usually produces about the same. But then they buffed them. They buffed the engines big time. They now each produce 400 horsepower, so they've doubled it. They are very good now. I would say they're downright viable to use as like a power source. They're very, very, very good. And that will help us a lot because we're gonna be turning on the pumps over here quite a few times. And these guys take up 700 horsepower each. So there's 6,300 horsepower we need on top of all the other stuff we're doing just to test out this water wheel thing. So very cool, super welcome changes. Anyway though, let's let this finish building and then we can do our very first test. All right, here we are. The thing is complete. There are no gaps for the water to sneak through this time, and we are ready to rock and roll. So the big thing here that we need to see is all of these wheels moving at once. it doesn't matter really how fast they move. They just need to move because we can always build more and expand on that. Okay. What's the power looking like? We have 13,000 supply right now and 13,000 demand? No, I don't know what was up with that. We have 0 supply. Are we in a drought? Oh my gosh. That would be a significant problem, but again, those engines were buffed, so we just gotta turn these bad boys on and we can commence our test here. Let's turn them all on. How much lumber do we have in this district? 1,400, that'll last like 5 minutes with all these engines. That's all the time we need, really. Let's turn these guys on. 400 times, what is this, 12, 18? Seems pretty good. 18 times 400 is 7,200 horsepower. Yeah, I think we're gonna be okay. So let's unpause these and let her rip anytime. I think the engines are just getting started here, right? Hello? There we go. They're booting on. These guys are turning on. They don't have enough power yet, so they're not very efficient. It's okay. Just need the party to get started. So we've tested this a couple times, and of course when the system gets started, the wheels like to move a little bit, but it's when the water overflows into the next part of the system, say over here, that's when we need to see the wheels move. Because what happened in the last episode is they kept stopping, which is really annoying. Power-wise, are we good yet? We're getting there. Efficiency, 67%, not ideal. Give me another 2%, that should do it. No, it skipped the number, come on. Fine, we're getting there. Supply, another machine online. Okay, it's working well enough. Now we just need to see what happens when the water overflows into the next space. So any second now, that will cross the threshold. And there we go. So the water is flowing. Oh, come on, I saw you moving. I saw you moving. What's up with that? What if we lower this? It's now at 0. Oh, we're moving now, brother. That's because all the water's draining. Not a very accurate test. Okay. 84% efficiency, 83%. We are super into a drought. Okay. Well, this is going. Things are grooving. The water would have drained by now, too. Are we getting an accurate reading? I think this is working. Yeah, the water would have flowed out of here by now. So that was it. Oh my gosh. So last time, I left a little gap here for the water to sneak through, which ruined the flow rate, but we're that close. We're that close. This is it. We've done it effectively. Well, at least we know we can make infinite power now because we can stack this forever. And each water wheel here only makes about 100 horsepower. Yeah, 100 horsepower each, which is not a lot. But with that, we can figure out what the heck to do. So if all these pumps are taking 6,300 horsepower, and each row of wheels here makes about 600, well then 6,300 divided by 600 would equal the amount of rows we need. Oh boy though. So just to match the power of the pumps here, we need 10.5 rows of these water wheels going over this way. And like we have the space, that's rough though. Yeah, okay. I guess after we do those 10 rows going this way though, we can continue adding on more and more water wheels just for as much as we want, because we know we'll be covered on the pump side of things. And then we'll be good. Okay, proof of concept is in hand. Now, how do we stack the design? That's the big one. Or better yet, how do we scale the design? So with the test over, let's turn the pumps off right now. This district over here already used 1,000 lumber just in that quick little test, so please settle down. And there's no point having you guys on either. And in an ideal world, we can just stack everything very, very close together. So we could have this river flow into a river that's literally one wall away. So get rid of the path, get rid of all this. I know I could mass delete this, don't worry. And yeah, essentially the idea would be to have another row of water wheels directly beside this. And I'm pretty sure the power would connect through all the water wheels to our main power line. Okay, so let's try that out. Hopefully it works out. So of course, we're back to blasting. Because of course every video we gotta do some blasting. It's just the nature of things. Oh boy, so this test is actually kind of scarier than the first, wherein if this wheel doesn't move, that means we have a scaling problem, wherein we have the first row that works, but then we don't have the next rows that'll work, and things will get very tricky. So I'm only running 2 pumps just as a test as well, because we already know the 3 pumps works for the first row. So it's kind of 2 tests at once. Will the 2 rows of pumps be able to spin all of these and the next system? So power-wise, are we good? Constantly gotta check. We are super not good. Thank goodness for the engines. It's back to the test. Nothing's moving, literally at all. Great. Let's lower this one down a little bit, maybe to 1. That's gonna allow some water to escape. Of course, that's gonna get some stuff spinning. There's a visual glitch happening here. I wonder if that's actually causing water to go from over here into this area. I don't think it is though. I think it's just a visual thing, because like behind that corner, it's just full of water. Anyway though, good news is this is all running, but that's running way too fast. That's gonna normalize in a bit once some of the water drains out. Because on the last test, it was about 100 per water wheel. Now it's down to 70, 60, 70. That seems a bit more normal. This one's running really fast. And after a little bit here, I think this is the quote unquote normal speed. So this one is running. That's the big thing. With that very, very slow water speed, it's working. It's got about 100 horsepower-ish. This one's 80, 80, 80, 80. Very interesting. So they all have 80 horsepower, whereas before it was 130. So by turning off these pumps, we just lost some horsepower up here. There's probably some kind of min-maxing we could do to make the proper amount of pumps and water wheels, but seems a bit too much right now. For now, our proof of concept has worked yet again. So if these are all spinning and this is spinning, that means we can just continue to do row after row after row back and forth for all eternity. And then from there, once we get the power for our pumps in, we can just add in as much more as we want. And the water just flows back into the pit and infinite power forever. Oh, and it's so much easier to scale than it is to do science. Scaling, we just continue to build and build and build. We have infinite resources, so building more isn't ever really a problem. We just have to add in the extra water wheels. And nothing too crazy at all. Just zigzags forever. And then we'll add in the water wheels afterwards. So gentlemen, big new project. Many powers to generate. Get at 'em. Stage 2 now just involves, guess what? You won't believe it. More blasting, as we do. And then we should, quote unquote, be able to build the water wheels from across the way here. So if we have that being built there, then the beavers can stand on these levees and put that together. I hope. They better, well, they better be able to, or else I am in trouble. Speaking of, before I even get building those, we gotta build these as well. Let's make that high priority then. More explosives, please and thank you. A couple more down over here. It's gonna be a lot of cleaning up and building more of these guys. Oh, nearly. And we're about halfway through now, guys. The process is I get rid of all the paths, get rid of all the scaffolding things I did to get the levees built. Then I add in every single water wheel in existence. And then I'll just do it again and again and again until we're done. The whole enchilada. Look at all that power. Look at all those wheels. So I went a little overkill, because why not? We only need about 10 of these rows to balance the power with the pumps. But I was like, hey, why not just add in a couple more? See how it goes. And they're all on the same level, so it should technically work. It probably would have been a better idea to put some on like a lower level and have like the water descend. But this should work all the same. Like the water wants to go somewhere, right? And it's gonna go all the way out to here. Okay, without further ado then, we are not in a drought. Let's open up the floodgates. Oh, we're paused. I thought that guy was dead. Don't worry, we're good, we're good. And now for the final test. 10,000 horsepower, we can run these. I hope this works. You know, we did our little tests. It should work. Everything states that this should work. And I suppose I could have been testing all along the way of building this, but where's the fun in that? Why not just one big, full move? Let's see what happens. And as we know, of course, line 1 is moving, line 2 be grooving. Now, will this work for every other line? You see, what I'm banking on is I don't think the water wheels like stop the flow rate of the water. So it should be consistent. I'm hoping it's consistent. And if not, doom. Is there a problem in here? No, we have this floodgate here. Is this set to 1? Yep. Oh, there we go. It's overflowing. Round 3 begins slowly. Round 3 complete. Round 4, it's looking pretty good. How are the numbers looking here? 130 at horsepower, eh? Oh, no, it just went up for a while. Yeah, it's around 100. It's going down. We probably have a power issue, don't we? No, power's good. Barely. Why would that stop then? Very odd. Is the water like filling up the trough and not moving? Almost certainly the case. Where did it stop? Over here? Yeah, like, if there's gonna be problems, it's gonna be with the floodgates. I probably forgot to set one properly. Is it in here? Uh-oh. Wait. Is there a floodgate in there? There can't be. Uh-oh. No. Oh, no. Oh, interesting. I just have a levee there. Okay, so that should technically work out. Like, the water will go over the levee and then off it goes to the races. That's all looking good. Yeah, it's fine. Just gotta give it a second here as the water fills up. We don't have all the time in the world, though, because we could run out of logs before the test completes. But we're back in action. It's over. Wheels should all start moving. Grooving. Huh? Oh, what the heck? Why can't I see half of these? Some weird visual glitch. Interesting. Well, they're back. We should see some movement. Not seeing enough movement. Hello? Why did they all stop? Are they all just gonna randomly start again? It's my only hope. What's going on over here? You see, here's the weird thing. They're all working up until that point, but I guess we have to wait for every single channel to kind of fill up, and then the water to actually flow out through the end here, and just flows out anywhere right now. We'll have to see how that goes. Oh, so now the moment of truth. I've been busy though. Got this whole new little aqueduct thing built to go back into the pit. And we'll see if it works. So again, the whole idea is the water goes through all these water wheels, passes through here, goes back into the pit, and then goes back up the pumps, reactivates the water wheels, and it's an infinite loop for infinite power. And if this doesn't work, my day has been ruined. No big deal, it's just, 6 hours of work. So please work. It has to. So any second now, we're gonna find out. Oh, finally, there we go. So the water is finally flowing. Fantastic. So we should start to see those water wheels moving and grooving here, right? The water's flowing. The pumps are on. Are the pumps at full power? 100% power. So, maybe they need a little push. Tiny little push. Oop that down to 0.5. That's getting it moving. I wonder if it'll stay moving. Good question. Surprised that isn't moving. No, stopped again. And then the water, what? How? How is that possible? How did the water stop going through here? Oh no, I know one possible reason why the water suddenly just stopped. This is gonna sound crazy, I know, but perhaps the water is evaporating as it's going through this system. So by the time it gets to the end, the water kind of has like disappeared or something along those lines, because the water does evaporate. I can't believe it. Let's put it down to 0. Let's let this thing rip. Come on. All the water should be moving now. Come on. Should be flowing back into this system now? Yes? Need time here, right? Do we have to wait for this to flow through? Maybe. Okay, fine. I'm being patient. I can be a little bit more patient. Oh boy, so round 2. Now the water's flowing through here. It's flowing. It's moving. But there's no grooving. I don't know exactly what to do about this, to be honest. I'm trying to flood this pit more so we don't have to have as many pumps, but that's kind of irrelevant in like the grand scheme of things. Like, this should be working. The water is flowing through this system. It's just so odd. It did work on a smaller scale and now it's not working on the larger scale. Perhaps there is some sort of resistance from the water wheels themselves, but there's no indication of that. Or maybe this whole system will suddenly just work. So I'll flood this more than it needs to be flooded, let that rip, and then everything will work out. Okay, so we have way more water than we need now, so let's kickstart the system. We'll lower this down to 1. Off goes the water. It's gonna increase the flow rate over here. All the water's gonna go bye-bye. Yeah, yeah, look at that. That's pretty good, that's pretty good. Ah, yeah, here we go. I knew this would work. Well, I knew it would work temporarily. Will it work for the whole system? I feel it just needs one little push. I think this is gonna be it. These guys, not really doing it. And they stopped. Okay, you know what? F it. I did my due diligence, I put in my time, but there's a point at which you realize you gotta do it again. I failed, okay? Now there's a new design, this time with the miracle of gravity. It's amazing. Same system, just the water will now go down in a little slope all the way down here and then out through this little channel back to the pit. Gives the water a little extra flow rate, and then hopefully the wheels will move. And this, I should have done this from the beginning, but you know what? I did my tests. This took like an extra 10 hours to do. I'm a little flustered. Anyway, water's coming in. It's into the pit. We're gonna activate these two pumps. Yes, we have the power. Yes, all the power just suddenly disappeared. Love to see it. Engines, you've been an unironic lifesaver in this whole project. Thank you for your service. Now let's rock and roll. So the water is moving up. Yes, these aren't running fully yet, it's okay. Just getting everything moving and grooving. It's no like levees or anything like that. It's just straight up water goes from here, goes and falls down to the next area. These wheels are moving. But I've been lied to before. I have been betrayed. I want to see this whole thing working consistently. No holdups. Got to the last layer. It is all moving. You little move. That's right. I'm at my last marble. I'm losing it. Water is trickling over that way. Did I only activate one pump, by the way? I super only did. Let's activate two. That might help out with things a little bit more. Oh yeah, oh wow, those are moving a lot faster now. Hey, okay, water, you know, get to the pit. We can close up the levee over here. There's no point anymore. It should be a perpetual system. Well, at least with the water. I suppose the water will evaporate, so every so often we'll have to let a little bit in, but bruh, it's moving. There does seem to be grooving occurring. No, don't raise my hopes just to be like this, please. It's a perpetual motion machine. There should just be perpetual motions and not stuttering. My sanity's on the line here. This gotta work. This gots to work. You know what? I'll give it to morning. If by the next morning, everything continues to spin as it's spinning, I'll put my cards on the table and I'll say this is a success. Then we'll measure out like how close to break even we are with this project, power-wise. Oh my gosh, it's looking great. It actually works. You wonder why there wasn't a Timberborn episode for the last couple weeks. This has been why, and it's working. We've done it. We've done it. Let's see. What if we add more water? That'll make it work a lot better. Let's try and average out some power. I am like certain this is working now. I bet this is gonna be like 130 horsepower, 135. You know, we'll just even them all out to 130 horsepower. Click on this one, 115, but then click on this one, 170. Click on this one, and it's 0. 130 each. Let's put it that way. So we got 7 rows here of 5. So 130 times 5 equals 650. 650 times 7 is 4,550 horsepower. Good. Is this project break even? 700, 2,100, another 2,100. Oh my gosh. That's 4,200 power right there. And we're making essentially that amount of power here. That's it. We did it. It has to be done. We need to see. We need to know. Is it actually perpetual? I'm so scared. Where are we at? 4,000. It's better than my calculations somehow. Yes. Yes. It's going above and beyond expectations. And final double check, how's the power looking? It's going down a lot right now, but then it just goes back up. It has this weird balancing act that's going on. So it went down to like 3,500, now it's gonna go way back up to maybe like 5,000. I don't know what's going on there. But we've made a perpetual motion machine and now have infinite power to play with. So I hope you guys enjoyed and thank you for watching. Have a fantastic rest of your day and bye-bye. Oh my gosh, and also remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay in the loop. Yeah, it's I'm going to bed.